you think people play video games? And that's kind of a big question. I mean, that is the big question. I think for the majority of video game playing, I think it's probably one of two things. There's the people that play video games to pass the time, and then I think there's the people who play video games to escape, to literally not think about their world for a while. And I think third would be interaction, person to person, in what I think people would find it to be a more comfortable environment, a more comfortable context. Interacting with people through an avatar in a multiplayer online game, for many people, is a lot easier than interacting with people in a face-to-face environment.
What's going on? That's my blood. That's my blood. It's a lot of my blood.
Why do I play video games? And I think I've largely answered that, in that I like the escape. Certainly it's for passing the time, but I have a very active imagination. I always have. I've always enjoyed games, and I get into them. I mean, I live them, I breathe them, I think about them. They are a focus in my life at a certain time. It's escape for me into another world. Whether the game offers it or not, certainly my mind creates the scenario that I'm playing out in whatever game I'm playing. And so I do it to escape. I do it to unplug. I'm an introvert. And after a lot of time with people, it's uncomfortable for me to spend a lot of time with people. Whatever part of my psyche finds interacting with people difficult, it doesn't when I deal with a game.
In the outside world, I am a simple geologist. But in here, I am Falcorn, defender of the Alliance. I've braved the Fargo Deep Mine, defeated the Bloodfish at Jared's Landing.
Looks like that guy just killed you.
What? Why? Why?
Stereotypically, gamers are seen as antisocial. Why is that? I think the reason is that gamers tend to, it's the stereotype. It's the guy in his tighty-whities in the basement, right? In his parents' basement, no less. Which, of course, isn't really what it is. And so I think we're seen as antisocial because we act through the games, we interact through the games with each other. And I think also that stereotype might have developed because introverts often like video games. I think it's that as an introverted human, there are only so many outlets for whatever cognitive energies we have. So in some ways, I am antisocial. And because I'm antisocial, I play video games. But I think there's also, it's a ridiculously simplistic view of the situation, one, certainly. Two, often gamers are very gregarious, just in a different context. A lot of gamers I know have a lot of friends they spend a great deal of time interacting with. But since electronic media have penetrated our culture to such an extent, I know people who have very rich relationships with other people through their phones. I have friends all over the country that I'm in constant contact with. I talk to them all day, little bitty conversations, but I think that a lot of these gamers have very rich digital lives, dealing with a lot of other people. Though, of course, it still stands. Gamers tend to be antisocial. And they game because they don't really fit in the social world, perhaps. I feel that in the past, I have been marginalized because I enjoy video games. Dork, geek, whatever. And and that since it was painful for me to be treated like that, since something I loved was treated with derision, that when you finally come back around to it and it becomes popular, even before it became popular, people were proud of the skills that they had within the subculture. I mean, there were games I was very good at, and I was very proud that I was, because other people saw that as positive. My gaming community, right? Or I was a solid gamer, and if it was a multiplayer thing, I was proud that I had stepped up and helped the group achieve something fun in a game. But I think there's also the way of owning a marginal status. And I'm certainly not trying to say that gamers are oppressed. I mean, come on. But I think it's fair to say that if a group feels oppressed or marginalized, or there's pressure put on them to be different than they are, that sometimes it's very useful for a particular group to take ownership of what may be seen as a derogatory attribution, a derogatory term, and own it and take pride in it, and that's a way of regaining control over that particular issue. 20 years ago, there wasn't this kind of view of video games. They're much more popular now, much more accepted.
Holy shit. Yeah. You good? Yeah.
I am excited. I'm constantly excited about the next games to come out. I've never not been. And so that will continue to be my big pastime. I look forward to playing them with my son at some point. I don't know if he'll like them. I don't know if he'll be interested in them. I'm very careful. I don't make him play video games. I want him to become interested on his own because I know better. You force him and he'll never. But I have these dreams of getting to play some of my favorite video games, or the ones that are now his favorite, with him. Share my passion.